Welcome everyone to another edition, a new edition, we should say, of Stepping Up to the Plate. I'm your host, Michael Vega. Glad you could join us. So much to catch up on with my main man, Al Prizzuti, here on the dais with me. Al, thanks for joining me. The last we were together, we were kind of lamenting a lull in the Bruins season and the Celtics season. Both of them have seemingly caught fire here as the regular season approaches. And then, of course, we had opening day at Fenway Park. Not such a great day for Corey Kluber, who was the opener, or Chris Sale, who was the guy who came up in second in the rotation. It's been kind of a hit or miss proposition right now, but some troubling trends have emerged, and we'll share that with you. And Al, what was your takeaway here after the first 5 days of the season for the Red Sox?
Well, I mean, the only takeaways you can really have is that the offense, other than last night, they had trouble scoring last night, has been terrific. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, Devers is hitting over 400. Verdugo's hitting the ball. Dunn has been playing, out of his tree.
Yeah.
Yoshida looks like a decent ball player. You've got Kiki playing a decent shortstop. I mean, Arroyo at second. Tristan's, I have a little problem with.
Hitting. I think he's okay.
He's a good first base. He's not a bad first baseman. I don't think he can hit. Right. He's kind of like Dahlbeck in a way. He either hits or he goes 2 for 15, and that's not a good thing. But anyways, McGuire came in last night, had 2 hits. They only had 4 hits last night.
That's and the thing, Al, for me, the troubling trend has been these numbers that have been seared in my mind ever since I saw them. And through the first rotation here, Red Sox pitchers have gone, get this, 20.1 innings, 20 and a third innings. They've allowed 29 hits, 23 runs and 29 hits, and 12 home runs, 4 doubles. That's the first 5 through the rotation. Al, that to me spells trouble in Music City here.
Well,
I mean, these guys are giving up as much as the Red Sox can score, and I mean, the Red Sox have had tremendous comebacks, but you can't rely upon that every single night.
No, I think there's a couple of things there. One is it's not easy to play March and April with the weather the way it is in the Northeast. It's not easy, especially for pitchers. So Kluber's first start, I mean, it was really cold, and it's going to be cold today, so I feel bad for him coming back today. Yeah. But Sale is a big issue because he doesn't have the fastball he had when he was striking guys out. So he's a 96, 97 at tops now.
So his sliders has got to be his wipeout.
Well, his location's got to be perfect.
Right.
And if it's not, he's just an average pitcher that they're paying huge money for that hasn't done anything for the last 2 years.
How much now? Under 30 mil?
I thought Pivetta pitched a good game last night. Again, the home run hurt them.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave up 3 runs on 2 home runs. They only had 5 hits last night,
mistakes.
Pittsburgh.
2 mistakes.
5 hits.
Yeah.
The Sox only had 4 hits and lose the game. So I think the early tab on this team is that they're maybe a 500, maybe less, a little less than a 500 baseball team.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I don't know if it's the false hope that people are selling that, well, there's a silver lining in this cloud because we've got Brian Bello on the verge of coming back. We got James Paxton there. You got, Garrett Whitlock. But the thing about all of those guys, they're coming back from injury, and you can't expect them to be 100% of what they were before they got injured.
But even 100% of where they were wasn't terrific anyways.
Right.
So,
I mean, Paxton's clearly on the back end of his career.
I think Whitlock has got the one that's got the most upside of the guys that are coming back, because he's been a pretty decent pitcher for this team. But Brazier, come on, they're in trouble. I think they're really in trouble, and I watched every game, and it's sad to watch because.
Do you think, Al, by the start of mid-May, they'll be out of it?
No.
Because there'll be teams like taking off like a rocket, like the Rays,
it depends
5-0 now.
It depends on the schedule and who they're playing.
Yeah.
If they go up against the Cream, then they're in trouble for the time being.
Right.
But I think the team is going to hit.
AL East is going to be, brutal.
I think they're going to come in
It's
either
gonna be
second or
brutal.
last. Second last or last.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one because, it's funny, we talk about how many home runs the Sox have hit, the opponents have hit. This is endemic league-wide right now. In fact, opening day, Aaron Judge on his first swing out of the ballpark. First swing of the year. The captain now of the New York Yankees goes yard. And it's like, wow, that was astonishing. Then all the home runs that Baltimore hit, then the Sox hit, then Pittsburgh hits, then Sox hit.
Well,
then you look at the Rays last night,
in
3 in the
fairness
ninth.
to the Sox, and the wind plays for both teams. Those home runs, the wind was blowing out. A lot of those balls were fly, like last night. Verdugo hit a ball that would have been a home run the night before.
Yeah.
It was a long fly ball. So
I think there was no doubt, though, about Yoshida's first homer.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about that one.
But, when the wind is blowing to right field like it was the other night, those balls were going out, and then Tristan Casas's home run is down the line. That, to me, is a joke.
That was a carry.
That's a joke. It's almost like the Yankees. You look at guys like Judge. If he's hitting the ball to right field, he's going to hit another 70 home runs.
Yeah.
The other kid, Giancarlo Stanton, when he hits the ball, I don't even want to get near it.
Field, yeah.
He hit one the other night, 480-something feet, but they said it was off the bat at like 120 miles an hour.
Well, remember when Giancarlo Stanton was down with the Marlins and they had the All-Star game down there, and they had that epic home run battle? They were like parking it through, they were hitting the back end of the stadium, these two guys, and it was just colossal home runs.
In fairness to the Yankees, they built a team that fits the new Yankee Stadium. Right field is an easy hit for a lot of teams, especially the Yankees.
No doubt.
Well,
Al, and just to pivot here a little bit about, it's opening day, with the Red Sox season, they're out spring eternal. But let me tell you something. Bruins fans, they are just absolutely besides themselves because they can feel it. They can taste it. It's playoff time now.
You know what?
And you know what, Al? This team is built, I think, to make a deep run, to grab that cup.
Well, let me put it this way: if they don't make a deep run, somebody could lose their job.
Well,
here's the deal with this thing is, and everybody talks about this. It's happened so many times that the team that wins the President Cup doesn't win the
first
Stanley
round.
Cup.
Yeah, they don't even win the first round.
I
know the Capitals have been upset in the first round.
Well, there's a lot of that going on, but there's two or three things about this Bruins team you got to be a little concerning. One is the power play, which has been horrendous since the first of the year. One thing. Secondly, Swayman and Ullman have never played in the playoffs like this.
Yeah.
So this is new ground for them.
Right.
And then the third thing with the Bruins is they've won a lot of games after the first of the year by giving up leads, falling behind to two goals, 3 goals a game.
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
It's not
in the
conducive to good
playoffs.
hockey, no.
No, because you're playing all better teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I have a little concern. I don't think that they're. Look at. I was talking earlier to one of the guys here, and I said, if you think about it, Carolina, the Hurricanes, the Rangers, the Devils, Minnesota, and Tampa, all
tough teams.
are tough teams.
Very tough.
And to have to go through all of those to make it.
And then you go to the who's the
And on the West, I mean, you've got some player. But I think the thing that
Colorado, Vegas.
Colorado's the team I think is going to be Vegas. Look at. Got to give Cassidy credit. He did a great job there too.
Yeah.
And Montgomery's an interesting guy because he said, "Look at Cassidy left me a good team, a really good defense, and he kept Kelly and he kept Sacco."
Well, it got better. It got better though.
He changed
With
how they
Pavel
moved.
Zacha, it got
Right.
better with David Krejci coming back.
Well, no, I
it
think
got
the
better with some of the guys. They got Orlov. They got
Well,
Bertuzzi.
the big thing he did was he had the defense be part of the offense, which was not what
engaging
Cassidy
those
did.
guys. Yes.
And you've got guys like Brandon Carlo deep. Sometimes you've got Orlov. Now I'll tell you a funny thing. I was on the treadmill and watching the Bruins game, and I had to turn my TV to watch it, and it was 3-0 against St. Louis, who I wanted them to win because I happened to be in Italy when they played the 7th game.
I remember that.
Here.
I know that. Yeah.
Against St. Louis and lost.
Right.
So anyways, I'm watching it. It was 3-0 Bruins, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3. I said, oh no, here we go. And I'm trying to concentrate on the game. And then it goes to the 3-on-3.
Yeah.
Orlov scores the goal. I
yeah.
turned the TV off and I went, hey, they won. I come upstairs. My wife says to me, what'd they do? I said, they won. So I turned the TV on.
And
they're still
win,
playing.
They're still shootout.
I didn't know that there was an offside.
No, it was bad.
But then Charlie-
there was no shot. There was no shot at it.
Oh, he was way offside. But then
Yeah.
Charlie Coyle went right under the guy's legs to score that goal on the first shootout, which I hate. I don't like the
Beautiful
shootout.
shot,
But then
though.
Ullman made 3 nice saves.
He did.
So I think with the Bruins, they've got everything they need to win. I mean, they should win. The Pasta has been...
Al, they got goaltending.
Well, they got goaltending and they've got defense.
Yeah.
And that is what wins Stanley Cups.
And there
is
you go,
defense
Al.
and
That's what I'm
goaltending.
talking about. And the thing is, then you got like dynamic scores all up and down all three.
Yeah.
They're 3, 4
I have a
lines there.
concern about how everybody feeds Pasternak, only Pasternak. I mean, you got Charlie Coyle should be shooting on the net and let a guy like Pavel Zacha or DeBrusque pick up the rebound and score. What they do, though, they look to Pasta off to the side.
But guys like Bertuzzi, they'll take their shots. Guys like Hathaway,
yeah, but where
they'll
did
take
Bertuzzi
their,
score the
their
goal
wax.
the other night?
Huh?
Where did Bertuzzi
I love
score
it.
the goal
Right
the
in
other
the
night?
dirty area,
Huh? He was right down by
Right
the
there.
net. The guy,
Yeah.
put, I mean,
That's what
Krejci
you
put
need,
that
those
right on
greasy
his
goals,
stick.
Al. Those greasy goals are going to be worth gold in the playoffs.
You can't score if you don't shoot.
If you don't put it on net. And you know what, though? That's what Pasta does. He'll put it on net and maybe create some rebound opportunities. And then if he doesn't put it on it, sometimes he gets it.
Well, if
through
you
the
watch
net,
on
you
their
know.
power play right now, what I think they're doing is they're rotating far too much instead of shooting on net. So they'll go.
Well, they're trying to-
they'll go
yeah.
around. They come down. They go down. Then they go down. They come back.
Yeah.
They go over this way. They go.
They're trying
Shoot
to
it.
get the defense to move a little bit,
Well,
create
shoot
some
it.
lane. Yeah, maybe get a bumper shot. That's clear what they want to do. But
I'd like to see Taylor Hall come back in the lineup because he does a number of things. One is he's a great back checker. He's a great skater. He can pass and he could score if he
he
shoots
doesn't need to
more.
come back until the playoffs, I
No,
think.
I'd like to see him back. I think they signed this kid Laurie, to a
Yeah.
10-day down in to a minor league contract with Providence. The way I think that works, though, is if they don't bring him up for any of these 5 games,
It's
they
an
can't bring
ATO,
him
though,
up.
right? Yeah. I think
They
it's
can't bring him up in the playoffs.
Right.
So I would, if I were them.
Just bring him up now.
Well, if they win one of these 2, because they got Toronto on Thursday, they got the Devils on Saturday. If they win one of those 2, then they only have to win 2 out of 3 against Philadelphia, Montreal, which they should win those 3 games, okay? Then you can play a kid like Laurie to see if he has it. And then if a defenseman goes down in the playoffs, you've got somebody
Do you start thinking about load management? at this point for some of your, like your Bergerons.
No.
I mean, Marchand, got banged up, nicked up a little bit in St. Louis.
Yeah,
And then guys like Krejci, guys you're going to lean on. They're gonna have to carry this team across the finish line.
Well, I listened to Gretzky the other day and he's of my belief that if you sit them too long, you lose the momentum.
Yeah, I'm not talking about an extended, but okay, maybe a game, one game.
Bergeron's hadn't played. He didn't go with them on
Right.
neither did McAvoy.
And they need that. They need to give
And I
that
think as you're coming down the stretch,
Well-
what got you there, has to be there. If you pull back on it, then you lose a little of that, I guess you could call it sinking.
Yeah.
That I would play them as if I'm
And both of
trying
those
to
guys,
win every
remember,
game.
Al, both of those guys took vicious high sticks, in games.
But you got to
before
give the
that.
Bruins credit. I mean, the other night when Bergeron got hit, and Marchand went right after the guy. I mean, he was
Right
right
at him.
at him.
Love it.
They had to pull Marchand off. He was hitting him, and then Peterson hit Bergeron, and
Trent Frederick.
one punch he knocked
One
the guy.
punch Frederick.
And he's from St. Louis, incidentally.
Yeah.
He played baseball. Trent Frederick. He's a pretty tough kid.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean,
No
so
doubt.
I think the Bruins are fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I think that it would really be hurtful to see them not win the Stanley Cup because they've had such a
That's
great
the
season.
unthinkable, Al. That's the unthinkable. Let's not put that in our
How
heads.
about 60 wins with 5 games left?
Pasta with 60 goals, maybe.
No, I think he's got 56, but he could do anything. This kid can.
He had
he's
a hat
player.
trick the last one,
He's a player. There's no question
Unbelievable.
about it.
Well, as we all get ready for the Bruins to make their run, everyone is also excited about the Celtics. And they had quite the game down in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
They had the Sixers got an extraordinary effort from Joel Embiid with 52 points, Al. Unbelievable. And yet the Celtics were this close to pulling it out and getting the season sweep over Philadelphia without a Jaylen Brown, without Robert Williams.
Yeah.
There are two essential components there.
When Embiid plays the way he plays,
Oh,
and
my
you don't
God.
have anybody to match up against
Unstoppable.
him, you can't.
I got to give it up, though, to Grant Williams and Al Horford for giving it their best. Yeah. Blake Griffin as well. I love Griffin, man. He's like in that Marcus Smart kind of,
he's a veteran.
Yeah, he's a veteran, but
He's
he
been there.
agitates.
He knows
gets in there.
what he has to do.
There was one play that stood out to me where, he caused a disruption on the back end as the Sixers were trying to inbound. He grabs the ball, goes to the ground, grabs the ball, turns around, feeds it to the guy, gets bounced around. Celtics control it, comes back out to Derek White, who knocks down a three-pointer from the top of the key. Unbelievable. It was like...
Well, what people don't realize, if you watch that game, they were down 10 with, I forget what it was, time to play, less than a minute.
Yeah.
And then they scored and made it 7. Then they scored the three-pointer to make it 1. And if Tatum had hit that shot, they would have won.
They would have won out.
They would have won the game.
And you know what? He had a look. I'll take that shot.
he missed it
I
big
didn't.
time.
I didn't fault him for taking it.
No. But
there were
he
times
had to
where
take it. There was no time
there was
left.
no time left, and there were times though where he dribble penetrated, drew 3 guys, and he kicked it to like Al Horford for a 3.
change.
Yeah.
But the shot, you knew it wasn't going to go in because you could just see it was too long, and from the angle it went. I mean, it's a tough shot.
It was a tough
anyways.
angle. He didn't get it. He wasn't entirely square to the basket. But at any rate, gives you they fought to the end, and that's what I like to see, Al.
Yeah.
And they were down people, and clearly Philadelphia was at full strength. They had everybody.
Yeah.
They had Embiid going for 52 points, and yet they were that close to losing. And Embiid's got to walk off the court going, oh my God, what's it going to be like when they have everybody?
Well,
They're going to get after us.
yeah.
If you have Robert Williams there, getting a hand up on Embiid to maybe push him back out of his favorite spot for that fadeaway, maybe disrupt his rhythm a little bit. But
they let themselves get into that position against Philly. I watched the game. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't deserve to be in it at the end like they did. I
Right.
mean, they hustled to be there. But the game against Milwaukee,
oh my word, yeah.
I mean, how do you beat a team by 40
and
something?
they were at full strength. That's what I'm talking about, Al.
But
You know,
that's
the
what I
team-
don't like
that's the
about this team.
That's the team when they're going right.
Right.
That's what they're capable
But that's
of.
what I. That's
So
the
they
only
sent
thing
a
I don't
message to
like.
Milwaukee. They sent a message to Philadelphia.
I don't know if they sent the message to Philly.
I think they
Philly.
did.
I think to Milwaukee for sure. But that's the only thing that I have a problem with this team is who is it that comes out for the night? And I understand that they've had guys not playing and injured and all that stuff. But one night they're here against Milwaukee. Milwaukee wasn't even in the same arena with them.
Milwaukee
The
was
next
at full
night-
strength too, though.
I know. And the next night with Philly, Philly was a better team all night.
Yeah.
And then at
Let
the
me tell you
end,
something,
they
Al.
hustled.
For me, MVP voting is over. It's Embiid. Clearly, Embiid.
Oh, he's a player.
Embiid is like,
How tall is he?
He's 7 foot.
Is he 7?
and
I
he's
thought
like
he was-
270.
I thought he was 7.
And I mean, he can move, he can shoot it.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a great touch. He's got great court awareness. He can pass it. You know,
He's a player.
He's a player, man. I mean, but he's a player that is devastating to your team because no one can account for him one-on-one.
Yeah.
No one can guard him at that position.
No,
He's indefensible. So they were kicking it to him all, and you know what? They were making him work. And at the end of the night, I saw Embiid doubled over in exhaustion. Can he survive that pace over a 7-game series?
Well,
against the Celtics, I'm not so sure.
I think what you have, though, which is a good thing, is parity in both the NHL and
the NBA.
The NBA.
Yeah.
And what I mean by the parity is, other than the Bruins running away with the President's Cup, every team that you play can win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the same thing with the NBA. And that's, I think, what makes sports what it is, because you really don't know. I mean, you could say, oh, well, the Bees are going to
Yeah.
win the Stanley Cup, but they might not.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting, Al, to see what happens. And, with the Celtics, the Bruins, and, of course, the Red Sox going, and then we'll have the draft here to discuss.
Yeah.
Also, programming note here, I want to invite everyone to come out to the Milton Public Library on April 13th at 6:30. We'll be part of a joint presentation with Milton photographer John Galuli, who embedded himself with the Milton High football team and got some gorgeous photography of the team's preparation for the big game at Gillette Stadium. His photography is on exhibit right now outside the Keys room in the lower level of the Milton Public Library. But we'll be there on the dais with Coach Steve Dembowski, John Galuli, and we'll also have a presentation of A Season to Savor, Milton Access TV's original documentary of the 2022 Milton High football season and their journey to Gillette. So I'm hoping you all be able to get out there and join us. We'll have a good time. It'll be 6:30 to 8:30. We'll have a little bit of a program, and then we'll have 30 minutes of the viewing, the exhibit of the photography. 7 o'clock, we'll sit in the Keys room, assemble there, and then we'll view the documentary. Then afterwards, we'll have a little Q&A with the coach and John Galuli, myself, and we invite everyone to come out and to enjoy that with us. So hopefully you can get out there. All righty then, that should do it for us here, Milton. We thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a happy Easter. Al, happy Easter to you.
Same to you. One final kudos to Archbishop Williams. I think we had Sean.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
They wound up
Since
winning.
the last time we've been on, they won.
Yeah.
I went up to that game up at the Songus Arena.
Great win.
And they were up by 22 at the half. They just barely won by 5. I think it was 5 or 6 at the end. But it was a great game. Brian Holden did a great job as the coach, and the athletic director, of course, was Sean McDonough. So, anyways, kudos to them.
Absolutely. Congratulations to them. All righty then, everybody. That'll do it for us. And we look forward to seeing you here next time on Stepping Up to the Plate. Take care, everyone.